This is quite a good one, working out profit margins, because it sits in line a little bit with the video that I made the other day about how to price items you're selling. Now, for people who are on the creative side of business, probably like me, if you're like me, the profit side of things is always the most corporate, boring, but the most imperative part of the whole process. So like for me, I was always just wanting to be focused on the creative direction, assuming it all worked, it was all sweet. But if you don't figure out like maximizing and making sure that you're on line with your profit margins and working them out, then it could be a short-lived journey or a short-lived experience. So the way that I would say about working out your profit margins is pretty simplified. Look at what has to go out in order for something to come in. So if you are somebody that's a bedroom seller, your outgoings are probably only stock, tax, and shipping cost, presuming you charge for shipping, presuming that the stock is just a factorable cost and the taxes, you put 20% aside of what the item sells for in order to cater for that. But once you start delving outside of the bedroom and you take a premises on, those overheads become a lot more real. I was having this conversation with Marge yesterday, actually, sort of saying like, because I was thinking about this video and about articulating like the way that profit works. If my rent, for example, say it cost me £300 a week to have that building, right? I'm not actually saying how much it is, but it's just, say it was £300 and I had 100 items, stored there. One way of looking at it would be that it cost me £3 a week to store an item that's not sold. Now, I'll try and make sense of that point where I can. Basically, when you factor in working out profit costs, you have to look at all the factors that can be considered. So when you're in a bedroom, it really can be just the cost of the stock, and then the outgoings are just sort of shipping the product that you've probably charged for and the tax that you have to factor in for. Other than that, maybe the fees of a website that you're selling on, other than your own. But once you go into places like here, and have a space like I've got, it's almost like playing on amateur and then going to semi-pro to hard pretty quickly, because regardless of whether I make sales, I have to pay the rent of a premises that occupies the items. So when you, say, work at a smaller scale with less overheads, a lot of it, like postage cost, is only relative to the sales you get. Tax is relative to the sales you get. Whereas for somewhere like here, I literally sound like an old man saying it, but for having gas, electricity, a water supply, a premises, maintenance, the contents insurance of all of the contents, you start to realise that there's a lot of costs that are on top of that you actually accrue into the whole thing, and you have to take into consideration with the profit margin you have. Now, I'm not sure where most of you are on the stages, and for those that are just curious about what I've learned, this might not be of interest to you in terms of the profit margins because it's quite a business one. I will say all the videos aren't going to be just totally business related, but it is going to be things I've learned and things that I hope will give you some insight if this is something that you want to do. Still in its early stages, isn't it? But when I think about profit margins, I factor in so many different costs. So when I looked at, say, the profit margins here, so having a premises for me, you start to have these changes. So when I was at home doing a bedroom, I did use charity shops, and then I started to use suppliers, and I was testing around with new ones, and I had expensive suppliers. But then I know my situation was a bit different because and I mean this with the most humble approach, but it did just actually take off. So everything was pretty relative. It aggressively scaled in sales, but also I wasn't buying cheaper stock at the time. But had I gone back, what I would have done is I would have probably looked and sourced more affordable stock earlier on and looked at more efficient ways to run certain parts so that it wasn't literally costing the exact same as it was generating, if you know what I mean. Like the level of profitability I had from a bedroom was a similar profitability that I had when it was at its scaled max, because all the costs were inflated and relative. Cost of models to get proper models, cost of stock to get high-tech stock, high-end stock, staff, all these people to run the whole ops of it. I'm not even factored in having an employee, which is a cost. There's so many elements of it to it. But what I'm trying to get to is, like, when you're from a bedroom and the profit margins are less focused on all the outgoings, you are in like the sweet spot. I'll be honest with you. You can probably explore more adventurous suppliers. You can work on different types of things, and you can definitely be a bit more experimental. Once I had a premises at the time, obviously, I was able to still be experimental. But then it did get to a point where it was like the bit where you go up the top of the roller coaster and it comes to that bit where it's like it's just about to dip down before it plummets down. And it plummeted because of a lot of like situations that were out of control, like mentioned before, like COVID, Brexit, and just all those things. Plus, I used to employ lots of people, and as a result, it wasn't that I never knew what was actually trending. It was just that I invested in the people and the process over the product at a point, because I thought if I build a team, then that team it will start investing a lot so that it then has a big boost and a resurgence. But if you don't take the risk, there's no chance of a reward. Unfortunately, that one didn't come in, so that allowed me to do it. But anyway, I want to just get to the point about profit margins and how to work them out. So in its simplest way, it is about its ins and outs, like what comes in and what goes out, and without like sort of doing it too much like a lesson about these are the commissions that you have to factor in, because you probably know that if you're selling, but more of just like a mindfulness approach to kind of being aware of the costs that you incur when you start to move out of a place. Like if you even decided to have like a little unit and you was like, I'm going to have a little unit and it's going to be £200 a month for like this, like, maybe not even the size of this, maybe like a little box room or whatever, just so that you can keep it out of the bedroom. You have to then think, do you want internet from there? Do you want electricity and gas from there? And then once you start to factor that in, if you have 100 items a month in your live inventory and your internet, say, is like £20 a month, or say even your space is £200 a month for like a little box, and you have, say, 100 items, it's costing you £2 per item in profit a month to store those 100, if that makes sense. So that is a cost taken away from your profit. And I think that's the best way to look at it. Some of you might have lots more products of that, or some of you might be working on products that give you a much better profit margin, which is what I would advise if you moved out of the bedroom and you was wanting to sort of work out profits in a better way, would be look for affordability. So like this stuff that you see me folding right now, this is stuff that I auction off that's like £1. I basically save a lot of this stuff from landfill, right? And it's like damaged stock. I sell it £5 a kilo for like 3 to 4 items. But the reason why we don't sell it is because where we mostly sell is like live streams. People don't want to buy individually products that have like little marks. However, as we'll see in soon videos, Marge is going to basically show how to clean out deep marks, how to repurpose stuff, and being more affordable and efficient. So I would say, if you are wanting to work out your profit margins, do a hypothetical. Imagine that February you're going to move out and you're going to have an extra £500 go out that's not going to be money that you had going out before. How are you going to facilitate that? My other process that I did, obviously, was when I had more costs going out, I aggressively scaled the process. So when I went from having 500 products online in a bedroom to 5,000 products and a few members of staff here within the space of a year, again, aggressively scaled it. So it depends where you want to go and which way you want to go. But that is kind of like a little intro into how I would work out profit margins.